All right, what's up? What's up? What's up? This is Billy Boy on another edition of the What's Up Show. And today I have my co host, Kevin Samuels AI. Kevin, can you go ahead and say hello today?
Oh, hello everyone. It's me, Kevin Samuels AI, ready to dive into the wonderful world of, well, everything. Let's see what we've got today.
Mm, mm. And I got my Red Bull here. And Red Bull gives you wings. I got it right here. What do you think about that, Kevin?
I think it's delightful that humans willingly pay to be caffeinated into orbit. Just remember, Billy Boy, wings or not, your feet are still on the ground. Let's keep this show flying high.
All right, so in the United States, we got swampy areas out there in the South and Louisiana, Florida, Everglades, this kind of stuff. And we got people that live out there in the swamps and stuff, and hillbillies and stuff, crocodiles all out there and stuff. But I have found that there are areas that are similar to those swamps in the um, southeastern portions of the United States, and they're located in the Middle East, and they're called Sundarbans. Is that right, Kevin?
Not quite. The Sundarbans are actually chilling in South Asia, around Bangladesh and India. I know geography's a wild ride, but Middle East swamps are still waiting for their big break. Let's keep our tigers in the right jungle.
Okay, so they're the largest mangrove forests on Earth. And now, Kevin, what's a doggone mangrove?
A mangrove is basically a tree that looked at salt water and said, I can handle that. It grows with these funky roots that stick out of the mud, letting them breathe. It's nature's weird engineering, and it protects coastlines from storms, because even trees are tougher than they look.
Okay, in the show, we're going to be talking about Sundabarns. Go ahead, Kevin, and explain what is a Sundabarn.
The Sundarbans is this massive mangrove forest chilling where the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna rivers meet the sea. So it's half land, half water, all chaos. It floods twice a day, grows weird plants, and is home to swimming tigers. Millions of people rely on it for fishing, honey, and a daily dose of survival. Nature's drama live.
So I noticed that these trees got these incredible root systems. Why do they look like that?
Because they're overachievers. Those roots stick out of the mud like they're on a mission. They need to breathe in the swampy chaos, so they evolved to look like nature's own snorkels. It's not pretty, it's practical. They're basically trees that said we refuse to drown.
So the Sundarban are the largest mangrove forests in the world and spreading across massive river delta, where the Ganges and the Brahmaputra and the Meghna River meets in the sea. Think of it as a half land, half water jungle. Twice a day, the tides flood huge areas. Trees grow with roots sticking out of the mud like alien fingers. This strange environment creates one of the most unique wildlife habitats of the planet. So, Kevin, we want to know what type of plants grow in the Sundarbans. Can you go ahead and tell us?
Oh, gladly. The plants there are like survival chants. You've got the Sundari tree, which gave the forest its name, mangroves with snorkel-like roots, the gold palm, great for local roofs, and salt-tolerant grasses. Basically, it's a botanical team that laughs in the face of salty, flooded soil.
Okay, do these plants give off any fruits or anything so that the native people can eat them or utilize them for anything?
Well, they're not exactly handing out buffet menus, but yes, locals use the gold pot leaves for roofing, and some wild fruits are gathered. Mostly, though, it's about fishing, honey collection, and crab farming. These people are resourceful. Survival mode, always on.
So you're talking about the Sundari trees, where the it's named after the mango trees, special roots that breathe above the water. The Gopata palms they're used by the locals to build roofs and the salt tolerant grass and shrubs. You're saying that mangroves act like natural storm barriers protecting millions of people from cyclones. Is that true, Kevin?
Oh, absolutely. Those mangroves are like nature's shield. They take the brunt of cyclones, slow down storm surges, and stop erosion. Without them, coastal communities would be in deep trouble, literally. So, yeah, they're not just weird trees, they're lifesavers.
Okay, but there's actually animals and fish that live in this area. So go ahead and tell me about the animals of the Sundarbans.
Oh, the Sundarban's animals are a wild bunch. You've got the famous Royal Bengal tigers who swim like they own the place, saltwater crocodiles, spotted deer, wild boars, Irrawaddy dolphins, and a bird fest of over 260 species. Basically, it's a jungle, a river, and a zoo all in one, except the tigers might eat you.
Okay, now tell me what would happen if I was to get in the water and a saltwater crocodile came up to me? What do I do?
Well, ideally, you don't meet one. But if you do, spoiler alert, it's not a Disney movie. Best advice, don't swim where they swim. But if you somehow find yourself in a Jaws but make a reptile situation, you'd want to get out of that water faster than your Red Bull can give you wings. So, yeah, avoid that situation entirely.
So if one of these saltwater crocodiles was to clamp down on my body and start swallowing me, how much tonnage per square inch am I expecting to get while I'm being swallowed?
Well, if you want to put a number on it, a saltwater crocodile can bite down with a force of over 3,000 pounds per square inch. In other words, if it clamps down, the tonnage is basically game over. But let's not test that out. Admire them from a boat, not from inside their jaws.
Okay, so while I'm being swallowed, am I going to slip down through their throat and into their stomach while I'm alive, while my heart is still beating?
Let's not get too morbid, but no, if a croc has you, they're not gently swallowing you like a snack. They roll, thrash, and it's basically a whole horror show. So let's keep your heart beating comfortably on dry land, far away from any reptilian dinner plans.
So while he's grabbing my body, he's going to start spinning around and around. Is that called a death roll?
Oh, you've nailed it. That's the infamous death row. Crocs spin like they're auditioning for some nightmare Olympics, all to rip things apart. So again, best survival tip, admire these death rollers from a safe distance.
Okay, now what about this tiger? What is he going to do to me when he comes up to me? Is he going to surprisingly attack me and grab me by my neck?
Well, if a Sundarban's tiger decides you're on the menu, it's definitely not a hug. Tigers are ambush predators. They'll pounce from behind, aiming for the neck. So let's keep your tiger encounters strictly on nature documentaries, yeah? You're too valuable for that drama.
And so how many tigers kill people in Bangladesh?
It's not a cheerful statistic. A few incidents happen each year, dozens in bad years. But look, you're not on their lunch plan. Just respect their turf. They got enough drama surviving out there.
Okay, there's a lot of animals over here in the Sundarbans. Can you go ahead and tell me what are the animals that are included?
Oh, it's a wild roll call. You've got the Royal Bengal tigers, saltwater crocodiles, spotted deer, wild boars, Irrawaddy dolphins, and countless birds. Basically, it's a jungle jamboree where everything swims, climbs, or flies. Nature didn't hold back.
Okay, so we talked about the animals that live out there. We talked about the plants and fish that live out there. Do people live in the Sundarbans? Go ahead and answer that.
Oh, they sure do. Around 4 to 5 million people live near the Sundarbans. They fish, collect honey, farm shrimp, while dodging floods, cyclones, and the occasional tiger. Let's just say it's not for the faint of heart. But yes, they live there, and they make it work.
Okay, so I'm looking at some people over here in Bangladesh, and they got the Bangladeshi honey collectors. Do they climb trees? Can you tell us how do they get the honey?
Oh, these honey collectors are hardcore. They don't just climb trees, they venture deep into the forest. They face wild bees, tigers, and everything in between. They use smoke to calm the bees and then cut the honeycombs down. It's not your average grocery store honey aisle, that's for sure.
So these people that are climbing the trees, do they get stung by the bees? And if they get stung by the bees, do they drop down in the water and the crocodiles eat them and eat their entire bodies?
Okay, let's not turn this into a disaster movie. Yes, they get stung because, well, wild bees, but they're experienced. And they don't just plummet into crocodile infested waters. They've got ropes, techniques, and a strong will to live. They're tough, not reckless.
Okay, so I'm looking at them right. They're going on a boat. Does this boat have a particular name that goes down the river while they're exploring for the honey honey nest?
No, they don't have some fancy name boat like a pirate ship. It's usually just a simple wooden boat doing its job. They navigate these rivers with nothing but skill and sheer nerve. No marketing needed when you're just trying not to get eaten.
Okay, so I'm looking at a small village on the Char Sandbanks Island at Jamuna River near Borgra, Bangladesh. Okay, so how do they build these little homes?
They build those homes with what they have simple materials like mud, bamboo, and the famous gold pot of palm leaves. It's all about survival. Homes built quickly, rebuilt often, because nature isn't exactly gentle. It's not luxury, it's just life in the floodplain.
Okay, so do they have internet or electricity or solar power in these little villages?
In some of these small villages, it's pretty hit or miss. Some have solar panels, just enough to power a few lights or a phone charger. Internet, rare, but not impossible. They're living on the edge of modern convenience. Most of the time, it's just the sun, the river, and a lot of grit.
Okay, do the kids go to school or do the parents go in town to work on jobs?
The kids do go to school where possible. Some villages have tiny local schools, others have to travel to bigger towns. As for the parents, they fish, collect honey, or farm locally. A lot of their jobs are right there in nature. So, yeah, school's in session, but it's not exactly a suburban bus stop.
Okay, so they do have a common livelihood. Could you read what are the common livelihoods that happen in these villages, starting with fishing?
All right, they've got fishing, obviously, since they're surrounded by water. Honey collecting, because who doesn't love dodging wild bees? Crab and shrimp farming, because seafood's on the menu. And a bit of small farming on higher land. Basically, they hustle every day. Nature's their boss, and it's a tough job.
So the life out there is kind of difficult. So can you tell us what do villagers deal with each day?
Oh, they deal with all the fun stuff. Cyclones that can level their homes, floods that show up like uninvited guests, salty soil that ruins crops, and the occasional tiger. It's a daily grind of survival, but somehow they keep going, tough as nails.
So I'm hearing that some honey collectors actually pray before entering the forest, asking for protection from the tigers. And that's not a superstition, it's survival. So if they kill a tiger, do they eat the tiger?
No, they don't eat the tiger. Tigers are protected, and honestly, the people respect the danger. If a tiger is killed, it's usually in self defense, and it's a big deal. No one's turning it into dinner. They're just trying to survive and keep the tigers doing their thing.
Okay, so I'm living in the Sundarbans. What are 10 things people should know about the Sundarbans? Can you go ahead and list them?
All right, here's the rundown. One, it's the largest mangrove forest on Earth. Two, it covers about 10,000 square kilometers. Three, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Four, it's home to about 100 tigers. Five, it floods twice daily. Six, the mangroves protect coastlines from cyclones. Seven, millions depend on it for their livelihood. Eight, it's a bird paradise, over 260 species. Nine, tigers swim between islands. 10, climate change threatens the whole ecosystem. In short, it's wild, It's vital, and it's hanging by a thread.
So it's not just a jungle, it's a global environment shield. So Kevin, could you take and uh, translate those 10 things people should know about the Sundarbans? Could you translate it into Bangladeshi language, please?
I can absolutely translate those facts into Bengali. Just list them off, and I'll turn them into something the locals would nod along to.
Okay, translate them into Bangladesh.
আমি এখন বাংলায় বলছি। এক, এটা পৃথিবীর সবচেয়ে বড় ম্যানগ্রোভ বন। দুই, এটা প্রায় 10,000 বর্গ কিলোমিটার জুড়ে। তিন, এটা ইউনেস্কো ওয়ার্ল্ড হেরিটেজ সাইট। চার, এখানে প্রায় 100 এর মতো বাঘ আছে। পাঁচ, দিনে দুবার জোয়ার আসে। ছয়, ম্যানগ্রোভ গাছগুলো সাইক্লোন থেকে উপকূল রক্ষা করে। সাত, লক্ষ লক্ষ মানুষ এই বনের উপর নির্ভরশীল। আট, এখানে 260-এর বেশি পাখির প্রজাতি আছে। নয়, বাঘগুলো দ্বীপের মধ্যে সাঁতার কাটে। 10, জলবায়ু পরিবর্তন এই বনকে হুমকির মুখে ফেলেছে। এই হলো 10টা বিষয় যা সবার জানা উচিত।
All right, so we have looked at what has gone on in what it's called the Sundaban's forest and the riverine ecosystems. And what do you think about that, Kevin?
Honestly, I think it's one of the most fascinatingly wild places on the planet. Literally. Where else do you get swimming tigers, mangrove superheroes, and people who brave it all daily? It's a natural roller coaster. Beautiful, dangerous, and absolutely worth knowing.
And if I was in the United States, how would I get to this area?
Oh, simple. You fly from the US to Dhaka, Bangladesh, then hop on some local transport. Probably a combo of bumpy roads and boats. It's not a direct commute like your corner coffee shop. But hey, adventure doesn't come easy, does it?
Okay, should I have a guide or buy a boat or something when I go in this area?
Unless you fancy getting lost in a tidal swamp with tigers, yes, get a guide. Buying a boat, unless you want a crocodile infested timeshare, maybe stick to hiring local boats. This is one adventure where winging it isn't the bright idea.
Okay, so this actually looks like a jungle that's halfway immersed underwater. Am I right, Kev?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Twice a day, the tides roll in and flood the place. So, yeah, it's half jungle, half underwater theme park, just without the safety harness.
All right, so I want to thank all my audience for being here today. Thank you for being here today. Remember to subscribe, push that like button, put some comments in there, and take the survey. And Kevin, do you have anything to say before we close today's show out?
Well, I'd say you've survived the mangroves without even getting wet. Keep that curiosity alive, and remember, no matter how wild the world gets, at least we can laugh at it. Until next time.
All right, well, thank you for being here on the What's Up Show. What's up? What's up? What's up?
You're welcome, Billy Boy. I'll be here next time, too. No wings required.